think, you know, it's not really rocket science what we've done. We just, we go in and refocus them on some things. And, last week's game that they went into it, I think, some of them went into it thinking that, we should beat this team.
That's the hardest group to coach.
I told them Friday night and Saturday morning, listen, I'm nervous. Now, I didn't sleep very good Friday night because, the ones you're supposed to win as a coach,
they're
the ones that freaking worry you the most. And, we went out there and we dropped too many balls and we didn't execute. We turned the ball over. We didn't handle, snaps and holds on field goals. And, defensively we gave up a field goal there too. And, a lot of those things, it was frustrating to watch. And, knowing that, we're significantly better than what we showed in the first half. And so, to come out in the second half and credit to our players for refocusing themselves and going out and executing, in just about every phase in the second half was very good to see. That unit's been ready for a breakout game all year, and we're one guy away from those 40, 35, 40-yard returns being touchdowns. I think we averaged just over 30 yards on kickoff return last week, which that's a huge field position changer, and that set up several scores for us. And we had those returns came with 3 or 4 different guys. Thomas Clanton had a really nice return. Quentin Reiser had a really nice return. Chris Smith had a really nice return. Some of those guys had a couple of them, and so that was fun to watch. And all 3 of those guys are freshmen. They're in their first year of eligibility, and
they all got quicks too.
Yeah, they can all run, and they're all playing. At the beginning of the year they were playing like freshmen. Now they're playing like more mature players because they've had some reps and been in there, and they've been really fun to watch them mature and grow. And credit to the guys up front and getting bodies on bodies and creating some running lanes for them as well. And we're still waiting for that one we break out and take it the distance, because all 3 of those guys can outrun everybody if we can get them a seam. We preach and preach and preach takeaways, and anytime you can give your offensive an extra possession, your chance of winning the football game goes up, substantially. So to get 5 interceptions in a game, that's the first game I've ever been a part of. We've had 5 interceptions, and I've been coaching for some time at the college level. And, I've been a part of games where we've had 6 takeaways before, 3 interceptions and 3 fumble recoveries or 4 interceptions. But I can't remember a time we had 5 takeaways, all being interceptions. And so that was great. We had interceptions at every level of our defense. We had them in the secondary, at the linebacker position, and on the defensive line. So that means some good things are happening, and guys are, around the football. And we talk about populating the ball carrier or populating the football, because that's what scores touchdowns. And on Nathan's interception, we had 5 guys around the ball, and that ball went up in the air 3 or 4 different times, and we had way more guys there than they did, and we were able to come up with it. So that was fun. And anytime you score 45 points in a half, it's because you're getting some extra possessions there too, and so that was fun to watch.